Oh, hello, YouTube. Hello, NFL fans. Hello, Bear fans. Okay, let's get real. Let's get real. Alright? Real. Did you like that? I like that. Listen, when I first started watching football, of course, my first game I ever watched was 1967. It was Chicago Bears and somebody. I don't remember who it was, but I remember I was very young. But I remember the people at the bar. My mom and dad carried me into a bar. You used to carry kids into a bar back then. Wasn't a problem. We used to drink soda pop and eat peanuts as children and play little shuffleboard, But anyway, I remember being in the bar, and the bar was packed with cigar smoke and drunks, and it was pretty cool as a kid. You keep your eyes and your ears open because you learn. And I was young. I was like, I don't remember how young I was, but anyway, there were several names that I kept on hearing. George Halas, Dick Butkus, Ed O'Bradovich, Gale Sayers, Piccolo. Those are the names that I heard. Man, when you hear a bunch of people screaming and stuff, you pay attention. So as a kid, those names popped into my head. So in 1968, I think I watched probably not the whole season, but off and on I would watch a few games. All right. And I thought, man, this is great. Everybody was into it. It was the talk of the town. All through the week, you had anticipation. You could see it in the people's face, how they really loved the Bears. Mr. Halas, Coach Halas, was a pillar in the community of the Chicago area. I mean, he's the man. George Halas was the man, okay? He helped organize the NFL, and he built the Chicago Bears, played as a player, and coached as a coach, and owned as an owner. Okay? George Halas was a man. All right? He thought he put together one hell of a team in the late 60s because we had to beat the Packers. That's what we had to do. We had to beat the Packers. You had to beat the Packers, so you had to build a team to beat the Packers. All right? So he had these people. He had Doug Buffone, Dick Butkus, let's see, man, he had a roster like you wouldn't believe. Like I said, Piccolo, Gale Sayers, Ed O'Bradovich. I mean, man, he had some people on this team that were just monsters on the offense and defense. Some of the greatest players in NFL history was on the 69 team. 1969. When I hear the word 69, most people get a naughty thought in their head. I don't. It puts an upset, it makes my stomach sick. Because in 1969, the Chicago Bears were 1-13. That's right. The Chicago Bears in 1969 was 1-13. People, we were the worst team in football. We had all kind of stars. We had some of the greatest plays in NFL history on our team in 1969. Man, we were a rough team to stop and a rough team to score against. I mean, but we were 1-13. So you people complaining about the 2014 Bears being 3-4 right now, don't complain. Don't complain. Because maybe there's only a couple Hall of Famers, maybe, on our team right now. Matt Forte is one of them. But look at all the stars that this 1969 team had that are in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's 4 players on the team in 1969, and we sucked. Okay? We were a bad team. All right, what that means is that was coaching. All right, Mr. Hallis, Coach Hallis, quit coaching the Bears in 67. I guess he done spent 40 years, over 40 years, player, coaching, owner of the Bears. And he felt like it was time to make a change in 68. So in 1969, man, we had some great players on the team, man. We had the roughest linebacker in all of football. In fact, I think ever. Dick Butkus is the greatest linebacker, I think, in the NFL ever. I mean, he wasn't as fast around the end like Lawrence Taylor. I mean, but he was from sideline to sideline, he was the meanest man that ever played a game of football. Alright? We had Gale Sayers. This guy was like he was like a mongoose. He could run, and you would think that he had eyes in the back of his head, because he would make cuts on people coming up behind him, and they would just grasp for air. Okay, we had some of the greatest players on that 69 roster in the Hall of Fame. On the Bears roster. 69. We were 1-13. So you people complaining about the 2014 Bears being 3-4 right now. Listen, anything can happen. This season, it's not even halfway over yet, okay? They only play 16 games. We should play 20 games, but we only play 16 games. This is week 8. This is a halfway point, okay? Football is a part of gelling, okay? Every player on the team has to think as one. The coaching, has to interpret those minds to think together. And the coach needs to put those players in the best place for their top performance, okay? That's the part of the coaching. Because even if you have Hall of Fame players on your team, doesn't mean you're going to win a Super Bowl or be the greatest team in football. It doesn't mean that. It's all the players and the coach staff. It's everybody getting together and everything turning out right. The bounce of the ball, the tip of the ball, the fumbles, the almost interceptions. Everything has to go your way to win a Super Bowl. Everything, the planets have to be in line. So, you Bears haters that are hating the Bears right now and Cutler, just hold on a minute. Okay? Let's say we don't win the next 8 games, 9 games. I mean, we're 3-4 right now. We got 9 games left. Don't give up. You've got to believe, Bears fans. I believe that we got some good players on our team, on offense and defense, believe it or not. I mean, we've got a couple Hall of Famers on that defense right now, possibly. And we've got a couple Hall of Famers on the offense right now, just like we did in 1969. But it can all gel together. They can all start thinking as one. Okay, that's all they got to do, man. The coaches got to get together with the team, and they got to get serious. Okay, they got to think as one. Only one brain wins a Super Bowl, and the whole team and coaching staff has to think as one brain. Man, they got to feel it. You got to feel it. It's like being in the zone. You know, Michael Jordan used to get in the zone. He was unstoppable. Okay, well, 53 men on a roster and the coaching staff have to think as one. Once that happens, they're unstoppable. And it can happen. These 2014 Bears, believe it or not, can get it together and make it happen. But you gotta believe. Just think of it. Just look it up. In 1969, look at our roster. We were 1-13 people. 1-13. In 1983, I think it was, Mr. Hallis, Coach Hallis, hired Mike Ditka. And then the team started thinking as one. Mike Ditka was a special coach. He could make you believe in yourself and in your teammates because he was a teammate of a Bear. He was a Bear. Okay? There was something special going on in Chicago in 85, 84, 85, 86. Those 3 years, man, we were, wow. I think 85, we were one of the greatest teams ever in football. So in 1969, we were one of the worst teams ever in football. But in 1985, we were one of the best teams in football. You know why? Because we thought as one. All the players and the coaches thought as one. Okay? They all put it together. And this season right here, 2014, is not over. I hear a lot of people giving up already on these 14 Bears. Don't give up on the 14 Bears. We got New England this week, okay? We are a road warrior. We are 3-1 on the road. We are a road warrior. I think we're going to beat New England, and then we're going to have a bye week, and then we're going to go to Green Bay, and we're going to beat Green Bay, etc., etc., etc. This can happen, people. You've got to believe. All we got to do is start thinking as one. Our defense has showed signs of good. Our offense has showed signs of greatness. Our special teams right now is having problems. We don't have Devin Hester no more. Robbie Gould isn't hitting everything like he usually does. You know why? Because we're not thinking as one. Once we start thinking as one, we can be unstoppable. At the beginning of the season, I thought we would go 14-2. Well, I was wrong. Wrong. We're not going 14-2, people. We've already got 4 losses. So we could go 12-4. Okay? We could go 11-5. Hey, I would settle for that right now. Just remember, people, go Bears, bear down, and keep believing. Because that's what we have to do as fans. Just remember, 1-13 in 1969. Boy, that puts a bad taste in my mouth. But you gotta believe, man. Hey, Cutler ain't so bad. He can fling the ball all around. We just need to run the ball, protect Cutler. Defense, we're doing real good stopping the run this year. Not as bad as we were last year. We gave up, 168 yards a game running? We're doing a lot better. The season ain't over. Come on, man. It could just begin. Let's win in New England. Run, Warriors!